So the global online art market is valued at $14.38 billion in 2022 and is projected to be valued at $23.79 billion by 2030. This is a crazy drastic improvement and obviously a really great thing for artists. But something else is true, which is that the competition is stiff. So how do you get your art out there in front of the right people in 2024 so that you can make money doing what you love to do? Because I know that you're not driven by money, but you certainly want to have an impact with the art that you make. So I want to talk today about that. And I also want to talk about how you can 10x your income today as an artist simply by publishing more art. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by art, because I'm not talking about your paintings or your music. I'm talking about something really, really special here. And I'm going to tell you how you can do it in a way that allows you to spend a lot less time than you think. Before we get into that, though, it's really important that we talk about, if you're already publishing your art, why people aren't buying yet. So obviously you need an audience to sell anything. And on average, about 3% of a warm audience will purchase from you. So for every 100 people, 3 of them are going to buy. So this probably just means you need more people, right? But there is a key word in there, and that word is warm, right? So 3% of your warm leads. These are people that are already primed because they trust you. They feel like they know who you are. And the thing that you have to remember as a creative person is that you create trust. The art doesn't. And I know that that's hard for some of you to hear, but it is true. So I want to propose to you 3 things that I think you should consider, as well as how and why this is going to 10x your income if you follow through with it. So the first thing is you don't make art. So let's go back to this point of people don't trust things, right? They trust people. So I personally don't believe that you make art. I believe you are the art. And the reason I believe that is because everything that you create is a byproduct of your stories, your experiences, what you've been through, what you believe in, what you're fighting against, all these things. And the more that someone can connect you to the work you make, the more valuable your work becomes. And this comes from the idea that people don't buy things, they buy feelings. So for instance, if you go into a mountain town and you're hanging out with your partner and you walk into a local shop and you buy a piece of art from a local artist, you're not actually buying the art, you're buying the experience. You're buying a representation of the feeling that you're having on that trip, right? There's that story underneath it that gets to be told alongside the work that you've now purchased. And the key word there, again, is stories, right? Because feelings come from stories, either stories that we tell ourselves in our own head or stories that have been told to us. So as we step into points 2 and 3, just have an open mind that maybe you're the art, not the thing that you make. So before we can even talk about like 10xing your revenue, we have to understand that a lot of struggling artists have a seriously dangerous thought process. And you may not see this as dangerous, but I want to propose that it is. And it's the thought process that this is going to take too much time. This could be your social media post. This could be, creating a new piece of work. This could be getting out there and networking with people. Whatever it is, you come to this place of this is just going to take too much time for me to even try. So I'm just going to not do anything. Now, everything that we tell ourselves is attached to some sort of meaning. And what I've seen with the artists that I work with, the artists that are inside my community, is that for them, they don't feel like they're good enough at the thing that they're about to try to do to go and make it work right away. They feel like they won't do it correctly. So ultimately, they want to wait till they have more time so they feel like they can do it better. And I get this, right? This makes total sense, but let's look at this logically. Like if you were to treat your laundry this way, how would that play out? Well, I sure love to do my laundry, but I'm not good enough to get it all done right now. So, I'll just kind of let it be. And then all of a sudden we don't have any clean clothes whatsoever. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like the reason I use this analogy is because this happens in my house all the time. A lot of times I'll just not have laundry done because I've said to myself, like, well, I don't have enough time to do it all, so why do any? But the odds are good that I'd much rather do some clothes than none so I don't smell like a piece of trash. And when I do that, I feel better about it. And when I don't do it, I start to shame myself. I start to feel really frustrated. That bleeds over into how I speak to my kids and my wife and all these other things. And let's take this back to your art business. Like, I don't need to convince you that in order for you to sell more of your work, whatever your work is, that you need more people to see it. It really is that simple. And when we consider the value of allowing yourself to be as good as you can be right now and giving yourself the possibility to think, what if this good, like however good I am right now, was good enough to make progress? And when we get into how you can 10x your creative business this year, this is all going to make a lot more sense. But I need you to get this concept, because this is the thing that keeps struggling artists, is just a lack of action. Because when you do something, even when it's imperfect, you take back control of the situation that you're in. And you can start to see that the thing that you want isn't as far off as you thought. Like, uncertainty is a huge part of growing anything. And yet we let it just keep us stuck in these places that don't serve us at all. So how can you overcome this in the moment? The first thing I want to say is be the cowardly lion. Like, you need to have courage. And it's funny that he's called the cowardly lion, and here I am saying that he has courage. Why do I believe the cowardly lion has courage? Because courage is showing up even when you're afraid. So the cowardly lion found support and he kept moving despite the fact that he was afraid. And in the end, he was able to find what he needed. Like, if we just showed up that way, like, how much more could we accomplish? The second part of this is the commitment is overrated. How can you be dedicated? And what's the difference? Commitment means that there's an obligation. Like, I feel obligated to this. And if you've followed me for any amount of time, my coach, Ellen Broen, says obligation is a breeding ground for resentment. And I've used that statement a ton. So I don't like the feeling of obligation or commitment. I prefer dedication, because dedication means that I am dedicated to the vision, to something that is bigger than me, to something that reaches further out and expands beyond the surface level thing. So for instance, I don't want money. I want what money gives me, right? I don't want time. I want what time gives me. So that's this idea of being dedicated to what is beyond the surface level thing that we're looking for. The third part is that capability is created, not inherited. So we aren't just given the capable tools to be able to do what we want to do. We have to go out and create that capability, right? And we do that through what? Through action, which means we got to take imperfect action to be able to move forward. And every time you go out and take imperfect action, this is going to create evidence that will build confidence. We don't get to start with confidence. So when I started doing pour over coffee, the first time I did it, I was so afraid, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to blow this whole thing. It's going to taste like freaking terrible, nasty water, whatever. And, I still had to do it to figure it out. And over time, I figured out the right blend of water versus grounds for my taste and what I needed. But I had to go out and allow myself to take that first step. And the first time I did it, I was like, oh, well, I didn't blow it up. It tasted fine. And that created this little seed of evidence that says, no, you can do this. You just got to keep trying. And so this imperfect action will allow us to keep moving forward. So with these ideas that you don't make art, you are the art. And if we can go and be the cowardly lion in our pursuits, we will make progress. Let's look at how you can now 10x your revenue in 2024. And the way you do this is you 10x your connection, not your audience size. Audience growth is important, right? But let's go back to this thing that I discussed earlier of a warm audience will convert at 1 to 3%, right? So let's say you have a $100 product and currently you have 1,000 followers or warm leads, and you can sell to 1% of them. That's going to equal around $900. So, we could go out and try to find, 10,000 people, right? Or we could increase your price by only $50, right? and your conversion by only 5.67%. This means that you convert an extra almost 6% of people into purchasing from you. This puts you at $10,500. That is a big difference for not having to just go out and get new followers. This is why I'm such a big believer in the fact that you don't need the biggest following, you need the right one. So if you're converting at a low percent, it means one of two things. They're not your audience, or they don't trust you yet and they don't understand who you are and why they should even pull out their wallets and hand you money for the beautiful art that you make, right? Because art without a story is a commodity. So we have to put those two things together. So when you increase your engagement or your trust, then you can both increase your price and your conversion because more people will buy and they're going to be willing to pay more. So check this out. There's some really cool stats. It says 86% of shoppers prefer an authentic and honest brand personality on social media, and 71% of consumers say they're more likely to buy from a brand that they follow on social media. Now, following is not clicking the follow button or the subscribe button. Following is engaging. That's me showing up over and over again to watch your stuff. And you know this by the people that you follow. The ones that you follow are the ones that feel like they bring value to you. You feel like you understand who they are and they're bringing something to you. So that's the question you have to ask. Are you bringing something to the people that you want to follow? Are you bringing them value, or are you just showing your process? Are you just kind of showing your work? Are you like the local business that like puts their stuff out there and all you see is their products, right? If we're doing that, there's room to grow. And if there's room to grow, then we just got to take a little action and it's all going to come together in its due time. And I hear you. I know what you're thinking. We touched on this idea of, yeah, but Lennon, like, what if it fails? Like, there's a lot of fear that comes up when we feel like we need to go and do these things. Even though deep down, we have this like inkling that there's a better way to do it, something that's easier. And I believe in that 1,000%, that we shouldn't do anything that isn't truly us. And so in this video right here, I'm talking about your fear of self-promotion and how to get past that. So when you're making an offer to somebody and when you're trying to convert more people, that you're not showing up like a slimy salesman, but you're showing up to serve somebody, because you as an artist, the work that you make should serve somebody, and you as an artist should serve somebody, because when you do that, it makes the whole experience so much more enjoyable. And so I explain more about that, what that means and how you can do it in this video here. So I'll see you in that one.